Been a while, hasn't it? Yeah, if you're wondering where I've been, things got insane, personal, and with the news, I was like, nope. You may notice a lot of the videos on my channel are gone. They're not deleted, they're unlisted. I'm kind of in the point of, I'm leaving them unlisted till, I literally get word from on high to put them back, if ever. And that's assuming I don't just go back later and just hire an editor at some point or get someone to just edit them for me and bleep out every single swear word. Because I went through some of them like, good lord. I knew I used to swear a lot before I started trying to stop, but I did not realize how much. It's like, you know, when you make a conscious effort not to swear and then you look back at earlier stuff recorded of you swearing like a sailor practically, you tend to get a little embarrassed. So I'm like, enlist. Multiple nights doing that because busy. Whew. And also one weekend, but who's counting? But why am I here? You've probably been seeing Christians on YouTube. You've been seeing people everywhere. They're just talking love a lot. Even if you haven't, you have not been paying attention to the good stuff. You've not been paying attention to the good stuff. Yeah, wrong word, my bad. Yeah, you notice that. I tend to misspeak a lot. Well, more like, word in place where other word belongs and that word doesn't make any sense. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, seriously, though, I'm putting something in the description. It's a Mark Dice video. He does this up for laughs, but I saw this and I'm like, oh, that is disturbing and sad. So I'll break it down. PBS had a nice little special a while back, I think earlier this week at least. At least that's, the video dropped this week from Mark Dice, so who knows. Basically saying some guy did a test of random people, who both liberal and conservative it turned out. Put them in an MRI and showed them pictures while he took pictures of the brain. Some of them of, nice stuff, some of them, a good chunk of them graphic, horrifying murders, beheadings, rape, mutilated corpses, dead bodies in general. Stuff to be normal and stuff to disgust. When it came to the stuff meant to discuss specifically was addressed in this bit, there were people who showed no reaction. And part of the thing was, after he pulled them out of the MRI, he threw right in their hands a political alignment test. Where do you stand on the issues, yada, yada, yada. People who rated liberal, every one of them, were the ones who did not show disgust. I'm not joking. It's at that point, later that day, I had a bit of an epiphany while I was at work. I'm like, nope, I'm done. I'm done hating on the liberals. I'm done hating on, I won't even call them libtards anymore. I'm not doing that. No, I'm done. No more hate from me. Because at that point, I can't simply say you're dumb, you're stupid. I can't. I can't, because it doesn't, it's like saying that to someone with Down syndrome or autism. It's like, what kind of crazy, awful person are you? No, I'm at that point that day, I'm like, nope, no more. No, I'm not doing it anymore. No. Why? Because at this point, it's no longer a joke phrase. It's pretty much a scientific fact. Liberalism is now officially a mental disorder. We already have science to back it up. There's stuff that's been mental disorders that took a year or two after the evidence really started manifesting for them to be put on the DMCA. This is something that's going to wind up there. So simply put, I'm taking the high road. I'm gonna be like Obi-Wan in episode 3. Anakin yells, "I hate you." I'm gonna yell, I'm just gonna simply simply, instead of saying I love you, I'm going to say I love you. That's it. Love you like a brother, love you like a sister. If you're actually someone I'm dating, I might say that in a different context, but, yeah. No, I've had enough of the... I've had enough of the hate. I've had enough of the hate. I've had quite enough of projecting the hate, because a lot of the hate that I see liberals projecting, and especially social justice warriors, is them projecting their own hate of themselves, is what it seems like, or at least how they feel about the world. What they say conservatives believe is more often themselves. It's projection. It is a sign of having a mental problem. Like I said, this is going to wind up on the DMCA at some point, more than likely. So I'm through hating these people. I'm not. No. And why am I referencing Star Wars again? Because, especially the prequels, because let's go all the way back to episode 1. What did Yoda tell a young Anakin about being afraid for Ada? Fear's the path of the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. So we got a 4-path thing. And it always starts with fear. I'm not going to be afraid. No. The opposite of fear isn't courage. The opposite of fear isn't bravery. That's facing fear. That's not its opposite. The opposite of fear is love. The opposite of fear is love. Oh, if you're wondering what's up with the reflection on my lenses, just so as a side note, these are brand new. And no anti-glare. Just in case someone's distracted by this, because I know I kind of am. But yeah, the opposite of hatred is love. Again, Jedi were the good guys, but they were kind of silly. Anakin almost got it right, oddly enough. You gotta have something to fight for, to die for, and to live for. Heck, I'll go back to Babylon 5 season, 4? What did Lorian say to Sheridan just before he pulled off the resurrection, and then Sheridan later on, like I think next episode or so, showed back up in Babylon 5? What did Lorian say? It is easy to find something worth dying for. Okay? That's simple. What do you have worth living for? The exact quote is, it's easy to find something worth dying for. What do you have worth living for? His was a woman he was falling in love with. Sheridan's was. Me? I have family. I have more than just my own biological family. Friends, brothers and sisters in Christ. And I can go to Star Trek now if you want me to do the trifecta of good sci-fi. And I mean the original series. Season 2, episode 25. Look it up. Watch the last bit of it. When Uhura reveals that the sun worshippers were actually worshippers of Christ. Kirk remarks that they had both Caesar and Christ, and the word of Christ is only spreading now. And Bones' immediate response is a philosophy of total love and total brotherhood. That's Christianity in its most basic nutshell. If you don't like that, though, you might want to consider getting help. I'm not even going to insult you. You need help. Seriously. This is why, even if you don't want to believe in Jesus, I say you need some Jesus. You need at least heck, even if you don't think it happened, it's probably the best life lessons is in Jesus' teachings. Y'all heard the golden rule growing up, or at least I hope you did. If not, you might need to listen. And if you did and you forgot, here's a refresher. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Simple as that. How did Jesus word it? Love your neighbor as yourself. So love you and your neighbor equally. And then he said, same sentence, and love your or it's either the same sentence or the next sentence. I believe it's at least the same verse. Love your enemy as your neighbor. You see what he just did there? You see what that does there? If you don't, let me lay it out. You are to love your neighbor as if yourself, but you're supposed to love your enemy as your neighbor, which means you love your enemy as yourself. Okay, just everyone equal, basically. Like I said, total love and total brotherhood. But we all family. That's about it. Think about that. If you're able to subscribe to that, and you're in basically an area full of Christians, you're around family. Okay? You might be nervous around family you haven't met. Goodness knows everyone has. That's normal. You ain't met someone. You don't know them that well. That happens. It's normal. Doesn't mean you give in to the fear. It's like the most you do. That's the thing. Even that nervousness is a slight twinge of the spirit of fear trying to creep in. Trying to creep its way in. And corrupt. Because like Yoda said, fear leads to anger leads to hate, and hate leads to suffering. Simple, easy. Fear to anger to hatred to suffering. And not just other people. Remember, Anakin may have caused a lot of pain and suffering, but the worst he caused was his own. Why? Because I will bet you dollars to pesos that if as Vader, he realized the minute that he saw Leia, or just shortly after she was done and being interrogated by him, that she was his daughter, yeah, he'd probably be kicking his own ass right there, okay? I don't think he can force choke himself, but I'll bet you he'd try. He would try. Because, let's see, already lost the love of his life through his fear. See what I mean? His fear led to hating the Jedi, led to being angry at the Jedi, and then led to suffering of him and everyone else. That's the thing. You cannot give in to fear. I'm like, do you want to go full Anakin? Do you want to go full latter part of episode 3 Anakin? Do you want to do that? Because if so, say so now, so we know to keep a sniper trained on you, or at the very least, to put you in the straitjacket in the padded cell. Because the way things are going, I think the safest thing is mental wards and hospitals, at least. Because I see it. I see it a lot. People who say they're liberals doing things that are such harmful, just monstrous things to themselves, and I'm like, and people let them get away with this. Identifying as blind, and then having someone pour bleach in your eyes. Yeah, no. Any sane society, they'd be in a straitjacket in a mental ward. Okay? Heck, that's probably one of the few times I'm okay with getting someone very doped up, but on pretty much the natural herbs on the high-powered stuff. Basically, you take something like, say, the Happies and from InfoWars, because I take that and it's very good for calming one down, and give them like a double or triple dose. That would be it. Because that's the thing. You have to, how do I put this? You have to just love people more than most. We don't need hatred anymore. We don't need fear. We definitely don't need anger. There's too much of that. Okay? Just love. Love. Simple as that. Probably the best thing we could do for ourselves, our families, the world. Love each other. Simple as that. Don't get angry. Don't get hateful. Don't even be afraid. Love. Love. Are there evil people? Yes. But you find when you're just a good person, they tend to expose themselves. That does not mean you simply just keep on ignoring them. No, those people, you put them in front of a court if need be. Put them in front of a judge and force them to face justice for their crimes, or at the very least, if you believe such, cry out to God and have Him do it. But this is why I say, even if you don't believe in Jesus, His teachings are probably the best and sanest in existence. Because there are people who have followed Jesus' teachings and not believed in Him because they basically made sense from a very logical standpoint. That's it. There is no real sound argument against it without sounding hateful or just plain silly. To the point where I wouldn't be surprised if people point out, you want to talk about, well, Christianity's hateful, and you said that. Yeah, check your Twitter profile, your Facebook posts. I'm not going to admit to being a saint. I've said some pretty stupid stuff. Difference is, I can't unlist it. Unless Facebook says delete it, it's staying. As a matter of public record at this point. To prove I've come a long way. Such is life. It's a long journey. You don't just become a Christian and suddenly you're automatically a good, perfect person. One, no one's perfect. The line from the book of Romans. All have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Okay? No exception. Flat out. You claim to be some upstanding moral person who's never done wrong. I know that's a lie. But yeah, I'm not gonna. I'm like I said, I'm through with the hate. Love, peace, y'all. Simple as that. Have we forgotten that? Well, and if you're wondering about the whole, my beef with Disney, Star Wars, Disney Lucasfilm, and what now is Marvel, DC, with Mark Waid, at least I think. If he's in DC, I don't remember. And a whole lot of messes around, like, everything. It's at the point where I'm wondering, are some of these companies going to have to disappear for people to be saved? Maybe. I don't know. I will leave that up to God. That's not my place to decide. But in closing, because this is getting long, I'll just say this. Just be nice. Just say thank you. Thank you. Have a nice day. How you doing? Be nice. Be kind. Don't rant about yourself. Unless they ask you first. Don't. And even then, just short. Just don't go into complaining and fest. Don't go on a complaining fest about your problems or this guy's being mean to you. Don't be hateful. Just be kind. Just leave the hatred, the fear, the anger away. Already too much suffering in the world as it is. Let's try and get some lesson. Bye-bye, everybody.